Hello, Gemini. I am Lynn Walden, and I am a clairvoyant medium, and I'm doing a reading for you today using my Intuitive Insight Oracle cards. And this is cool. So when I started, I was asking my guides for guidance. Go figure. And what I started seeing was a toy soldier, like you would imagine in the Nutcracker, only wooden. Beautifully, perfectly painted, pristine condition. And as I pull back, I see that this toy soldier is standing on what would have been a miniature war enactment that you would see somebody doing, as a hobby, where it's like, oh, this is the battle at Gettysburg or whatever, with all these tiny soldiers and everything else. But so here's the thing. The war stuff going on around this toy soldier, they're all tiny like this, and he's big like this, okay? They're all grungy because, it's real, they're in war, whatever. He's pristine and perfect. And then I wanted to knock him over, but he kept coming back up. And I would do it again, and he would come back up. And I'm going, okay. So nobody's keeping this guy down. And I wasn't sure how to put that into the reading until I started seeing all the cards. So I'm going to read you the names of the cards in case you would like to try to put them together in your own way, which might be very different because you don't have all the content of the cards, but here they are. Pride, power, grace, shame, forgiveness, structured free flow, have no opinion, say yes to anything benevolent, yes I can, but do I want to, and positive triggers. So here's where we go. As I was reading this, what I was getting of was a sense that it's a really, really important time for you, Gemini, to focus on the things that are positive, to really understand that there isn't a war going on. For you, perhaps there never really was a war going on except in your mind. That many of the situations now that could potentially still be something you're chewing over can be gone. If there's anything in your past that carries a quality of shame to it, so it could be you feeling shameful, ashamed, or it could be, geez, that's really a shame that thing didn't work, and you're still kind of working on that as a real regret that you haven't made peace with. That would be something to look at. Now, what I see around pride, I think pride's a really interesting thing. And certainly when we imagine a soldier sitting up there with his, perfect everything, we could look at that as, the prideful statue, perfection, all that stuff. But what I think about pride is pride can hide behind humility. It can shield us against feeling the ick about who we think we are, which is where I think the shame card comes in, and who we think we should be. Pride can create selective deafness and blindness about ourselves and others, therefore thinking we're in a war and not. Pride can keep us from seeing our flaws, accepting our humanity, and embracing the humanity of others. As I'm reading this and as I'm putting all of this together, I feel as though I want to say, this is not necessarily specifically about selective deafness, about things that are necessarily going on, or selective blindness. I feel this goes back to that sense of you're not in a war. You're just a toy soldier. It's a game. It's a game, right? Start treating life like a game. One can think that power is coming from the mind, and that's where an element of pride comes in too. But power is coming from a much deeper place in you than just your mind. It's that part of you, that heart that's connected to higher consciousness, that's connected to the unified field of all possibility, where your angels and your spirit guides are there to help you. By continuing to consciously and deliberately focus on the positives. I know sometimes it's hard for you, but if you can do it more regularly, and again, this structured free flow card, it's come up quite a bit for people, but I believe that's because this is such a profound time to be able to really move ourselves into a new way of being, a different way of being, a fuller way of being, whatever that is for you, that is not pleasing you now or supporting you now, that you would like to be rid of, or something new that would be supportive that you would like to gain. So depending upon where you're at, and it may be both, one may be reliant on the other, but what you're being supported in doing, Gemini, is please, you've got 4 cards here that are talking about staying in the positive, accepting benevolence, saying thank you. It's saying thank you. Yes, thank you. Do I want to? Do I not want to? Giving yourself permission to do what you want to do. You don't have any opinions about yourself that are negative. You do not entertain them. And surround yourself with the things that keep your energy up, that remind you. It might be poems, it might be religious icons, it might be photographs that bring back positive memories, certain colors, scents, memories that are good that you can revisit. And that there is grace behind all of this, that you have grace to lean into, and you're being asked to, Gemini. Grace is not earned. Grace is a state in which we receive, for no apparent reason, a divine influence which strengthens us in a way that eases whatever problematic or miserable state we find ourselves. Grace needs only to be accepted in order to be received. Gemini, I feel like I need to say this. The shame card comes up, and right next to grace, and within that whole pride and power schmozzle. And I really feel, I know a lot of Geminis, and they're amazing people. And what I have noticed about a lot of Geminis is that there can be a difficulty in really letting themselves experience positive feelings about themselves and give themselves credit for what they deserve credit for. If there is something in your past that you are feeling shame about, and I'm going to read this because I think it's relevant. Shame is a learned emotion. We are taught what is shameful, usually at such an impressionable age that we can't help but take it in and make it personal. That's what children do. When we identify with it so much that we feel shameful, we carry it as an aberrant energy, totally in contradiction to our divine and innocent essence. It erodes our sense of value, worth, and self-esteem. It robs us of our personal power. I don't know how that plays out for you in terms of your childhood, in terms of any point in your life, because certainly we can be receptive at different periods, at different times, due to many other things, including psychological manipulation. But I would really ask you to check in to see if there is something or a period of your life where you are carrying shame, so that you can let it go because you don't deserve it. You are not inherently shameful. None of us are inherently shameful. We may have felt shamed. We may have been shamed. We may have done things that we are ashamed of, but it is not who we are. And we can choose to let that go. Gemini, you're strong-minded. Use your mind for good, okay? For your good. Again, a powerful time. Structured free flow means use one of those 8 tracks running in your mind to create a path for yourself so you remember. So that you remember and you actually do remind yourself to focus on the good. The good in you, the good around you, the good coming to you, and grace, which is the greatest good. I leave you with that, my Gemini friends. Take care. I'll be back. Oh, yes, I keep forgetting to say this. I've forgotten a bunch of them. If you feel inclined to give a thumbs up or subscribe or make a comment, that is all greatly appreciated because it really helps move the channel forward and I can reach more people. So thanks. And if you don't, that's okay too. No worries. I'm still here for you. And I'd like it, but I'm still here for you regardless. Take care. Bye.